Looking forward to quiet. Is it good having it on at 11 o'clock for you?
Yeah, well, welcome to meditation class. And hello to everyone online. So thank you for being here. And the first thing that we do whenever we sit down to meditate is establish our motivation. So we always start by generating compassion for all sentient beings and making the wish that we will benefit them, we will save them from suffering, and that our meditation practice will bring benefit to them. So let's take a moment now to give rise to bodhicitta. And then we'll say the opening prayers. So we'll say the 7-line prayer 3 times in Tibetan. Om Organ yogi num jansam pemmage sar dompola yatsin chogi ngodrupne pemmajung ne jesudra Pordu kandro mangpo kor ketki jesu dak drupki jinji lop chi shek su so Guru Pema Siddhi Home Organ Yogi Num Jansam Pema Ge Sardom Pola Yatsen Chogi Ngodrupne Pema Jung Ne Jesudrak Kordu Kondro Mangpo Kor Ketki Jesu Dak Drupki Jinji Lop Chia Shek Su So Guru Pema Siddhi Home Organ Yogi Num Jansam Pema Ge Sardom Pola Yatsen Chogi Ngodrupne Pema Jung Ne Jesudrak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Ketki Jesu Dak Drupki Jinji Lop Chia Shek Su So Guru Pema Siddhi Home. Right. So in this class, we'll be practicing 3 different types of meditation to stabilize our minds and open our hearts. And the first meditation that we'll be doing is Shamatha meditation, or calm abiding meditation. The Jetsunma has taught that meditation is the natural state of mind when it is relaxed, stable, and open. And when our mind is calm and settled, there's a spaciousness that allows time between action and reaction. And the trouble is that our minds are rarely calm and settled. They're usually really wound up like a beehive, like an angry beehive or something, just ready to react to anything that taps us or interacts with us. And when our mind is too agitated and wound up or out of control, the mind controls us instead of the other way around. But the good news is that the mind is like a muscle. So just like we can go to the gym and we can work out and make our bodies strong, we can also do the same thing with our minds. And we can do meditation to build the muscles of our mind. And the muscle that we're building with this meditation is creating space. We're trying to create space in the mind. And having this spaciousness helps us to balance our emotions. It's, we've all had times when, any little thing that happens, we just can't handle it. Any little thing, it's just like you just snap at something or you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. You're just very reactive. And then there's other days when that same stuff could be happening and you are like cool as a cucumber. It's whatever. It's like water off your back. It's like, oh, well, that happened. And it's fine because you have more spaciousness and in your mind. And so there's like, you have that time. You're like, oh, I dropped my coffee. Too bad. I guess I'll make another one or, whatever. And it's like, it's not the end of the world because you have the spaciousness to react, to respond instead of reacting. And so we have those moments, but they're not consistent. We're not stable in having that kind of mind with the spaciousness. And so this practice helps us to stabilize that quality of spaciousness in our mind where we can reliably have that space whenever anything's happening to us. And this is very helpful because if we can't handle spilling our coffee in the morning, how will we handle it when we die? So we all know at the end of the road, we're going to die. And that's going to be very upsetting probably. So if we can't handle the little upsets, like getting stuck in traffic or, someone saying the wrong thing to us, we're going to have a very difficult time at the end of our lives. And so, so we practice meditation and we develop this spaciousness in our mind. And the spaciousness is also really important because it's the first step in the development of bodhicitta, the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. So when we're all wrapped up in our self-concern and our reactivity and we're just thinking about ourselves, we're not happy. We're not in control of our minds. And we also are not thinking of others. But then we get this spaciousness and now we have room to think of others. We have the spaciousness to actually see what's going on, see that there's other people in the world besides ourselves, and respond with this like open-hearted, spacious, presence. So that was a very important practice, foundational to any practice that we do. And it's very simple. So all we do is we rest our attention on our breath. You can also do this meditation with your focus on a flower or a candle or a stone or an image of the Buddha. And you would do it the same way. So I'll take a comfortable seat. You can do this meditation sitting in a chair or sitting on a cushion, like cross-legged on the floor. And just place your hands in your lap, gently relaxed. Traditionally, we hold one hand in the other with the thumbs touching and place the hands just below the navel. So the thumbs are just below the navel. You can also just rest your hands on your thighs. And then check in with your posture. Make sure your spine is straight. Your shoulders are back. Your elbows are out a little bit away from your body. So you have room around your rib cage to breathe. And your eyes remain open, looking downwards. So you can imagine a line following the bridge of your nose and extending down to the floor. And find a point along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then place the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. It's like saying the letter L. Allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. And settle into your natural rhythm of breathing. And then put a very light attention on your breath. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on it. Just observe it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. And as you meditate, thoughts will come up, and that's okay. When thoughts come up, just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Don't even look to see what they are. Just let them pop. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So as soon as you notice yourself following a thought, just drop it and return to your breath. So we're going to do a short warm-up round here and meditate for just a couple minutes. So your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. All right, so that was our warm-up round, practice round. They're all practice rounds. We're going to try that again now for a little bit longer. And if it's really difficult for you to dismiss your thoughts, you could imagine using tongs to pick up the thought and drop it, or you can imagine cutting the thoughts with scissors and throwing them away, or I don't know, tapping them with a magic wand and they go poof, whatever. But if it's helpful to have a little bit of a visualization to dismiss the thoughts, you can do that. But you always return to the single pointed concentration. So we let the thought go and come back to the breath and return again and again to the gossamer thin attention on your breath. So we will do that again for a few more minutes. Set the timer. All right. So your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. So now that our minds are calm and settled, we're going to develop our compassion. So the next meditation that we'll do is Tonglen. And the practice of Tonglen, or giving and receiving, is done to develop our compassion and our ability to be present for our own suffering and for the suffering of others. And this practice trains us to use the energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to suffering and transform it into well-being. So in this practice, we imagine taking the suffering of others into ourselves and sending them our happiness. And sometimes people get worried, like, about bringing other sufferings into themselves, and they think that they will then suffer, or if I give away all my happiness, I won't have any happiness, But this is really just a mental exercise. None of us are enlightened enough to really do this in a real way yet. So at the moment, you don't have to worry about that. This is a mental exercise. In the immediate present, doing this meditation, you're not going to cure anyone from cancer or remove anyone's suffering by doing this meditation in this moment. But by doing this practice, you will gradually cease to cherish yourself over others. And then you'll develop a stronger wish to benefit other beings, eventually leading to the ability to help all beings with equanimity and without any distinction between friends or enemies, just helping all beings. And then you will be able to give beings happiness and relieve them from suffering. So we're investing in our future as a bodhisattva here. So, and this really is a profound practice, and there are beings in the world who do this practice in a way where they really do help beings by doing this practice. So we can aspire to one day being able to, just with our breath alone, being able to relieve the suffering of beings. That would be really amazing, wouldn't it? So sitting in meditation posture, you can begin by envisioning one or two beings for whom we easily feel compassion. So someone whose suffering particularly touches you. And this could be your parents, a sibling, your partner, your kids, a friend, your dog or cat, anyone for whom you easily feel compassion. Just think of who that person might be. And then contemplate that person's misery and put yourself in their place, imagining what their experience must be like and giving rise to compassion. And cultivate in your heart the fervent wish to relieve their suffering and secure their happiness. And then bring your attention to your breath. Just follow the natural rhythm of your breath. And as you breathe in, visualize that as you inhale through your nose, you take in all of the causes and conditions of their suffering in the form of black smoke. And imagine they become completely free of misery. And as you breathe out, visualize that you are sending and they are receiving all of your positive and loving qualities and all conceivable sources of enduring happiness as radiant, pure light, bringing them limitless joy. If it helps, you might think as you breathe in, may you be free of suffering. And as you breathe out, may you be happy. So breathing in, inhaling all of the causes and conditions of their suffering in the form of black smoke. Exhale, sending them happiness as radiant, pure light. So we'll do that for a few minutes. And then we're going to repeat that again. At this time, we're going to visualize one or two people for whom you feel intense anger or aversion. So think of someone who just really makes you angry, or you just really hate them. Just think of someone that really, maybe you don't understand their choices. Maybe it's someone who's harmed you. Maybe it's someone who's harmed someone you care about or actively harming others. Maybe it's someone that just really annoys you. You just can't stand them for some reason. You don't know why. But just think of that person, one or two people for whom you feel intense anger or aversion. And we're going to do the same thing as we breathe in. Visualize that you take in all of the causes and conditions of their suffering in the form of black smoke as you inhale. And then as you breathe out, you send them all of your positive and loving qualities, all conceivable sources of enduring happiness as radiant pure light. So even the people we don't like are suffering. So we're going to consider how they feel, consider their experience. Breathing in, may you be free of suffering. As you breathe out, may you be happy. All right, and then now we're going to continue that I want you to expand your visualization to include all of those for whom you have similar feelings of anger and aversion. So as your meditation deepens and you get used to doing that practice and your heart opens, you can gradually increase the scope of your visualization to include larger and larger groups of people until your loving kindness and compassion embraces all beings throughout existence. So now we're going to move on to our last meditation, which is a guided meditation by Jetsunma called the Light Expansion Prayer. All right. And okay. So we're going to start in our same meditation posture. Let us become still. Take a deep breath. And let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. and there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute, and there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. So then at the end of our class, we always end with our dedication prayers. So whatever virtue that we have created through this practice, we then give it all away to all sentient beings. So we'll say those prayers now. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. All right, well, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Thanks to everyone online.